Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about finding yourself and not growing up too fast. So me personally, growing up I was very sheltered. I didn't really do much. My mom was like from school back home and that's it. I was in a law program that I did travel to, so sometimes I did get home late. But in terms of partying, in terms of hanging out a lot, I couldn't really do it. Not until I would say my senior year of high school. Or maybe my junior year. Regardless, I grew up sheltered. My first time of actually going outside was in college. And point of this video, sometimes not growing up too fast is good. Sometimes being inside is good. Sometimes staying to yourself is good. I say this because people think that outside is such a event. People think that you have to be outside and to network, sure, maybe. But I think it's important to not be outside so much. Why? Because, and for obvious reasons, you could get hurt. Some girls end up knocked up because they just out here fast doing whatever. I feel like when you are inside and you're sheltered more and you're to yourself more, you develop morals, you have standards. Not saying that someone who goes outside doesn't have morals and standards. I'm just saying you have a little bit more time to reflect on things. You have a little bit more time to really invest in yourself and invest in who you want to be, and you're not so distracted. Something that I struggle with is every time I have an episode, I will, before the episode, I'll develop how to do hair, like wigs and frontals. I'll know how to do it, and then boom, I have an episode and I'll come back, and during recovery I just forget. I forget. And I go on TikTok now and I see all of these girls and they have lace frontals and their makeup is done. Don't get me wrong, I know how to do makeup, but their wigs are done and they're slayed. And I'm like, why don't my wigs look like that? And they have all these piercings and maybe tattoos, and I just feel like overall I'm a little behind in developing my image or my look, and I feel like I still look like a little kid. And I be thinking, should I get more tattoos that people can see? Should I get more piercings? Who am I going to be? And I get so sad because I feel like I don't look the part, I don't look the standard. But what I'm realizing is that everything takes time. Everything takes time. And I am happy and grateful that I'm not growing up too fast or growing up in the streets, because those are some things that you cannot take back. Outside will always be outside. Outside will always be there. Boys and everything like that, they will always be there. But it's important for you to know you. It's important to find yourself in how you look, yes, but even more so in what you stand for. Even more so in who you want to become. More important things, what mark do you want to leave on society? And every time I see a TikTok girly, and I'm like, how are her pictures so good? How is her wig so good? And it's a point where I always want to get to. It's a point where I always want to try to achieve a similar look. But instead of trying so hard to be like that person, I need to find me. What if me is not wigs? What if me is creative makeup looks? What if me is not individual lashes, but rather strip lashes or my natural lashes? What if I don't like to be like everyone else. And that's another thing. Another thing is validation. A lot of validation, I feel like, comes from people in social media. And me being one of them, I always look for people to like my pictures and comment. And I haven't been getting that. I have not been getting that. But I've been finding so much happiness within me that that's okay. It's okay if you don't look like the baddie from TikTok. It's okay if your wigs are not to that standard. It's okay if you don't have acrylic nails. Like, it's okay. It's okay. You don't need the validation of what you think is pretty. I kind of find wigs annoying. They're sticky and they just stick to your head, but they're cute. And I do get them maybe once in a while, but it's just like, who am I without all of that? Who am I behind closed doors? And how can I reflect who I am on the outside so that I look beautiful in both ways? You know, sometimes we overthink it, and we hyperfixate on everything that we think it should be, when that just makes us look the same. You know, you gotta step outside the box. You gotta develop you. You gotta be you. If you is wigs, that's good. But if it's not, girl, style yourself. You know, be creative. You know, come up with different photo shoots. You know, I was scrolling on Instagram and I seen the same photo shoot concept like 3 times. I'm like, girl, you know, I don't think we should aim to be perfectionists. I think that we should aim to be ourselves and see how much more appreciation we get, how much more happiness we get. Sometimes it's not about the likes and the comments. Sometimes it's just about you feeling pretty or handsome and you posting that and you feeling good and you being in a good space in your real life, not your Instagram life, because that's completely different. Or is it? I think we should just focus on being ourselves, you know? Yeah.